And that's what we need. We need someone to break up the two parties, because it's either you're right or you're left.
Yeah, and I think that's the big thing is a lot of people forget that there's a third party. And I think that that's ultimately the downfall of our voting process, is that you have your Republican Party that panders to your country folk, for lack of a better term, and then you have your Democratic Party that really panders to your urbanites. But everybody's like, oh, Trump isn't the best, so I thought I'd go with Biden. Or Biden, there's no way I could get Biden in there. I've got to vote Trump. But you don't. You do not have to vote either or. It's the same machine. It's the same, same bird, two different feathers. And I think once people realize that there's an opportunity to break the machine and get you these freedoms that people want, or get these more independent privacies back and liberties back, no matter what your creed is, no matter what your culture is, your race, your religion, it doesn't matter. Everybody's looking for freedom, but everybody forgets that there's a party that wants that.
People are always trying to jump on the train too, for like Republican and Democrats. Like how do you break through that? Like how do you tell everybody, like, hey, that's not the only two parties, like there's other options out there? Like how do you get that going?
That's kind of an uphill battle. The big thing that I always push for is I start with questions, like, hey, what's your thoughts on your First Amendment? Do you think certain people shouldn't be able to speak freely, or does that include hate speech? What draws the line at free speech? And a lot of people treat it the same way they do as the Second Amendment, which would be, shall not be infringed. And a lot of people strongly follow that suit. Same with like religious freedoms. And the biggest problem that we run into is, again, people are so stuck that, well, third party, Libertarian, you're wasting your vote because, it doesn't count. They're never going to win. But I still tell these same people, you go and vote for the Lions every Sunday, and they haven't won since the 50s, anything major, so you still are strong suit, you still wear their stuff. So why can't you go out there? It's not a wasted vote if you're believing in what you're voting for.
Like the premise of like America,
It is.
Yeah.
And like that's what the Libertarian Party strongly suits for, is the tradition of the American way, your pursuit of happiness. We don't want the government infringing on your rights any more than they already are. We want them to be a smaller government. They have forgotten that it's for the people and it's by the people, and that's something that people have forgotten, but not enough to want to do something about it. Everybody's suited on still a right and a left matter, when in reality it's the individual liberties that we want. So it's always going to be an uphill battle, always.